All right, well, hello and welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is my first ever YouTube video. I'm hyped about this. I've been wanting to start this channel for a while now. I finally just decided to do it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jackson. I've run a relatively small, not relatively, it's just small. I've run a small Instagram and TikTok account called Jackson Likes Music, where I've made little graphics and talked with people about music takes. It's been really fun. It's been really enjoyable. I'm, of course, going to keep doing that. You can always check those out and follow those. But I've known for a while that the next step was going to be YouTube. And so here we are. I finally decided to just do it. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to be here. And I'm excited that you're here. Now, if you're here, it's probably because you know this is going to be my top 500 songs ever. And I'm super excited to get into that. It's something I've done before, and I'll talk more to that here in a minute. But before we actually jump into the list, since this is my first video ever and the first video of this list, there's a few things I want to go over. I want to briefly talk about what this channel is going to be, what it's going to be like, and then I'm going to go over a few things for the list as far as that goes, things like the rules and things like the layout of the list. If you want to skip all of that, you're free to do so. I would definitely recommend checking out the rules at the very least so you know what's going on with the list. But at the end of the day, if you're here for the songs and want to skip straight there, feel free. I can't stop you, right? But let's get into it so we don't waste any time. Let's talk first things first about this channel. So my goal for Instagram and TikTok was really just to have some good discourse about music. I love talking about music, but really I love talking about music with people, with y'all, with people who also like talking about music. So if you're here and that's your thing, then I'm glad you're here because that's really my goal. Now, the reason I'm kicking off my channel with the top 500 is because I started my TikTok off the same way, and it led to a lot of super fun conversations, led to a lot of fun discussions, and that's my end goal. So that's how we're kicking off the channel. Looking long term, I'm also going to do things like album reviews as I listen to new music. That's something I'm always doing. I'm always listening to new music. I'm always trying to find something awesome. So that'll be in the future of this channel. I'm also going to do other things, I'm sure, as ideas come to me, but we'll get there eventually. Right now, of course, my main focus is going to be the top 500. If a super awesome or maybe even a super bad album comes out that I'm dying to review, maybe I'll post a review here and there. But for now, this is going to be my main focus. So I hope that that's something you're interested in. But also at the end of the day, my goal is just to have discussions, to have fun, and really to discover new good music. So I hope you can discover some new music from my channel and maybe even from this list. And I hope that I can discover some new music from you guys as well at the end of the day. That's really what I'm here for. That's what I'm excited about. So hopefully that's something that you're into as well. That's enough about the channel. Let's talk about the list. First things first, here are the rules. So this is important. This is how I really crafted the list. These are the guidelines I set for myself. So there were 4 rules. Number 1 is there could only be 3 songs per artist. So only 3 songs per artist. That means artists like the Beatles, the Beach Boys, Talking Heads, the B-52s, Snail Mail, Phoebe Bridgers, the Backseat Lovers, who knows, a ton of these folks that I like, a ton of these artists that I like, they would have been way overrepresented. I mean, the entire Beatles discography really could have been on this list. So that wouldn't have been fun. That would not have been enjoyable unless you're a super big Beatles fan like I am. So 3 songs per artist. Last time I did the list, I set the limit at 5. Set it at 5 songs per artist, and that was good, but it was almost too much looking back at it. There was a lot of artists like those that I just mentioned who were like very represented, especially in that like top part of the list. Artists like Joe and like Phoebe Bridgers and the Beatles, they pretty much, you know, took over that entire top part of the list. The Beach Boys, Talking Heads. So this shakes things up, keeps it interesting, and keeps the songs fresh as we go through. Rule number 2, which kind of goes along with this first rule, is that features do not count as an appearance. So if an artist is featured on a track, that doesn't count as an appearance for them. Rule number 3 is each song can only appear once, and that might make perfect sense to you. I'm talking about like covers, right? So for example, the Beatles have this song, Tomorrow Never Knows. Love that song. Awesome song. Phil Collins, he does a great cover of Tomorrow Never Knows. I love both tracks. Only one of them can make this list. Number 4, the last rule, no songs from this year, and that is just to keep this list as accurate as possible, right? This is my favorite songs of all time. It's hard for me to put any songs from this year on that list, especially because I'm looking back over the course of my entire life, and I want it to be a really accurate list and really accurate like taste profile almost of what my music taste is and what it has been. So no songs from this year, that just makes the most sense to me. Now, let's talk about the list a little bit, and then we will actually get into the list. So for starters, if you happened to be here 3 years ago when I did the list the first time, then you'll know that some of the rules have changed. That is very intentional, right? I want to make sure this list is fresh, but also my taste has changed. So all that to say is, if you were here 3 years ago when I did this list the first time, if you followed along with that on TikTok, this is going to be a very different list. You'll see a lot of old favorites of mine. You'll see a lot of songs that made it the first time, but they won't be in the same position. You'll see a lot of songs that you recognize, but this is a very different list. My taste has changed, new music has come out, all of that good stuff. So it's still worth tracking with me while I do this, even if you saw it the first time. Another thing worth noting is that there is something for everyone on this list as far as genres go. So I really love like Beatles era pop and rock, as well as new wave and psychedelia and modern indie rock and pop. I love all those things. Those genres will be pretty heavily represented here. So if that's your thing, you're going to enjoy this list a lot. But even then, if you don't fall into those categories as far as music you listen to, there's still going to be something there for you. I think really there's only about 2 groups that I nailed down who won't have something here, and that is metal and K-pop fans. If you're a diehard K-pop or metal fan, neither of those genres are represented on this list, so I'm sorry. I've really tried to get into those. I've really tried to enjoy those, especially last year. I really started getting into new music last year. I started listening to as many new albums as I could. I averaged over 1 new album a day. I'm still on that track too, as I'm listening to new music. So last year and this year, as I'm listening to new releases, that's including metal releases and K-pop releases, and I have not found anything that I really enjoy. So maybe I'm just not looking in the right places, but those 2 genres are not for me. So if you're hoping for Metallica or BTS, or if you're hoping for any other bands that fall into those genres, they will not be here. So I'm sorry to you fans. But even then, hopefully there's something that you enjoy from this list, and hopefully there's new songs you can find off of this list that you will really enjoy. And that's, again, as I've said, that's one of my goals. I want you to find new music here that you will enjoy. A couple things to note about the layout of this list. So the bottom 200 songs or so make up what I call like the fluid part of the list. And that's because these are newer songs that I have discovered recently, or songs that I have loved historically, but really don't listen to much now. So it makes sense that they're towards the bottom, and it also makes sense that these will be the songs that if I were to update this list in the future, those songs will see the most change. Then you have the top 150, 100 songs, and those are the songs that are really, really, really concrete. So those are the songs that will be the most similar to the last list that I made, but also those are the songs that I really just love the most. So that's when the list gets really fun to me, is I really get to start talking about songs I'm passionate about, really start getting into songs that I love, that I hope you love, and even some songs maybe that you've never heard before. So, of course, that is exciting, but we got to get there first. We got to make our way through the whole list. And one last thing to note, and this is probably the most important thing I'll say in this video, and that is nothing in this list is objective. Nothing. I tried to reiterate that over and over again last time I did this list, and people just, I don't know if they ignored it or if they didn't care. Nothing about this list is an objective ranking. What I'm not doing is saying this song is better than this song objectively, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is I like this song a little more than this song, and if you disagree with me, that's cool. If you think my number 500 song should be my number 1 song, I can vibe with you, okay? That's cool. I am not saying that any song on this list is objectively better than the others. So hear me with that, rock with me with that. This is purely my favorite songs of all time, and it's my favorites. So rock with me there. And of course, let me know what you think. I want to know what you think, but just know it's not objective, and it never has been, okay? So let's get into the list. Let's do it. We're going to start with the first 25. I guess it's technically the bottom 25. We're going to start with the first 25 songs on the list. Let's do it. All right, so we are starting off with the bottom. And again, I say bottom, but this is my favorite 500 songs of all time. So every single one of these songs is great. I love every single one of these songs. So even though this is the bottom, even though this is number 500, I still really love this song. Number 500 is Moving in Stereo by The Cars. It was released in 1978, and it is one of 2 songs on this list by The Cars, so there will be another one coming for you Cars fans. I love this album. It was one of the first albums I can remember ever buying on vinyl. I think I got it at Barnes & Nobles. I don't know. It is really great. It's really great guitar, and this song really has that awesome guitar. The intro is fantastic. It's like kind of eerie. And then of course the vocals come in. And since the song is moving in stereo, the vocals are in stereo and they're moving in and out. It's great. Definitely a standout on that album. But I don't think you can go wrong with hardly any of those songs. It's a great album, hit after hit on that record. So check it out if you haven't. Let's talk about number 499. Number 499 is 27A Pitfield St by Bassvictim. That was released last year in 2025. It is the only song on this list by the duo. And this is a band, I guess you could call it a band, they're a duo, but this is an artist who was not on my radar at all, had no clue who these folks were until I got a random TikTok comment under one of my posts last year. And I'm so glad they commented that, because that was one of my favorite albums of last year. It was great. Anything electronic, I'm gonna love. And this album was super electronic, and this song is one of the best songs off that album. It was also one of my favorite songs of last year. I think it really takes the sound of the album and kind of encapsulates it into one nice track. So give it a listen. If it's up your alley, that whole album's worth listening to, but I love it. Their vocals are awesome. It's really great electronic music. So check it out. Number 498. Movin' On by Martians, released in 2019. The only song on the list by Matt. I really don't know much about him. I think this song was sent to me probably in 2019, maybe in 2020. And I love this song. It was this song and another song by Martians, but this song was easily my favorite of the 2 that were sent my way. This is a great track. It's got a real 90s R&B kind of feel almost, and the vocals are great, but it is so catchy. This song gets stuck in my head every time I listen to it. It was stuck in my head when I was just making my notes for this. So it is a great track. All right, next is number 497, and it is I'm Gonna Miss You by Milli Vanilli, released in 1989, and it is the only song on the list by Milli Vanilli. Look, I'm not a fan of Milli Vanilli. Maybe my dad used to be. I don't know. He used to. Their other hit, what was it? Girl, I'm Gonna Get You. Is that it? No. I Love You. Ooh, 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 I Love You. That song. Okay, that song, I remember my dad singing as a child. I guess he liked that one song. I don't know. I'm not a Milli Vanilli fan. I don't like that song. But I'm Gonna Miss You is a good song. I do enjoy I'm Gonna Miss You. It's almost a guilty pleasure just because of the reputation that Milli Vanilli has. But this is a great song. I actually discovered it not from my dad or from the radio. I discovered it from the Netflix documentary about the Menendez brothers, you know, the ones who did that thing to their parents. But they apparently had good music taste. So that's one thing positive I can say about them. That might be about it though. So anyways, this is a great song. It's very 90s. I know it came out in 89. It's a very 90s sounding track. So if you like that kind of cheesy 90s pop, it's right up your alley. Next is number 496, and that is Stand By Me by Ben E. King. It was released in 1961. It is the only track from King to make the list, and it is fantastic. It's got one of the most iconic bass lines ever, if you're asking me. And it's just great. His vocals on this track are insane. You can hear how much like he's straining almost, but at the same time, it's coming across so well. So fantastic performance from King on this record. I actually loved the John Lennon cover of this song. It doesn't sound quite as polished as King's version, but he's got a nice cover of this song. Unfortunately though, only one song per song. So Lennon's cover did not make this list. But this version is totally iconic, and it's iconic for a good reason. All right, number 495, shifting gears in a pretty big way here. It is Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. This was released in 1994. It is the only song from the Beastie Boys to make this list. And I used to love this song, so I don't listen to it as much anymore. I loved it probably in middle school and early high school, and just like everyone can probably relate to this, just like any song that I used to listen to a lot in middle school, can't really listen to it a lot anymore now, even if it's just a great track like this one. So middle school Jackson ruined this song for me, but it's great. The vocals on this one are crazy, and it's the energy. The energy is what brought me back to this track every single time. It's crazy. Number 494 is, and hopefully I say this right, I probably won't, but it's Nueva Yol by Bad Bunny. Love this album, love this song. It was released last year, 2025, and it is one of two songs from Bad Bunny to make this list. The intro to this song is what gets me hooked every single time. I'm not sure I would listen to it as much if that intro did not hit as hard as it does, but it does. This song's crazy. Just like a lot of the songs on this album, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Love this album. Love this song. Number 493, another song from last year, and it is Life Signs by Water From Your Eyes. It is the only song from the duo to make this list. This is another artist that I really didn't know much about until last year when they were recommended to me from TikTok. At least I think that's how I came across Water From Your Eyes. I knew This Is Lorelei before, and that's probably where I got the recommendation, because I was listening to This Is Lorelei. Anyways, doesn't matter. This song's fantastic. It was from their record last year. It is a really great, just hard rocking tune. The guitar that carries this tune pretty much from beginning to end is awesome, and it's just really well produced. From start to finish, it's hard not to really enjoy this song. Number 492, Toxic by Britney Spears. The only song from Spears to make this list. This came out in 2004. Not much of a Britney Spears fan. I just didn't, I didn't really grow up in that era of pop as much as I did, the era of the 2010s. But man, this song's great. The strings are crazy. Her vocals are crazy. The fact that she, really blew up because of this song makes perfect sense. It's awesome. It's a really, really great song. All right, number 491 is the Jamie Oliver Petrol Station by CMAT. This is another song released last year. So just like I mentioned earlier, right? There's going to be way more songs in this part of the list from last year and from more recent years, just because I haven't had the time to really grow into liking them as much as many of these other tracks. So that's why this list is this part of the list is a little heavier on songs from last year. Besides the point, this is the only CMAT song on this list, and I'll tell you right now, there's one reason that I come back to this song every single time, and it is the build that happens on this track. It is awesome. It is awesome. It starts out pretty calm. I mean, at least compared to how it ends, but it starts out, semi-calm. It's a little funny. It's a little silly. She's got this fake beef with Jamie Oliver, and it just builds and builds and builds into this crazy, exciting, and manic thing where she's screaming at the end and the production is going insane. It is awesome. It is awesome. It's one of my favorite songs from last year off of another fantastic album from last year. Number 490 is Deformative by Black Eyes. It was released in 2003. It is the only song from Black Eyes to make this list. I do not know anything about this group other than this song, and that's okay. This song is crazy. The guitar is crazy, the vocals are crazy, and they really match each other's energy really, really well. The guitar is almost like screaming back at the vocals that are also screaming. So it's a pretty hardcore track. It's fun. It's really, really fun. Number 489, Life Itself by Glass Animals. So this was released in 2016. It is the only song by Glass Animals on this list. Sorry to you Heatwave lovers. It is not here. I am also not one of you. Don't play Heatwave around me, please. 1,000 times is enough as far as hearing that song goes. So I'm good. If you love that song, no hate. Not for me. Not for me. But this song, on the other hand, Life Itself, is awesome. It is really interesting. There are a lot of things going on in production. I mean, it sounds like there's bongos, there's crazy sounds, like a lot of things trying to grab your attention, which is really, really cool. But the chorus, every time, is what gets me. It explodes onto the scene. It explodes into your ears if you're listening with headphones. It is crazy. And it practically just grabs all of your attention. It's awesome. It's awesome. Give it a listen. It's really, really, really well produced. Number 488 is Twice as Hard by the Black Crowes, and that is Crows with an E. I do not know why they have an E, but they do. This was released in 1990. It is the only Black Crowes song on here. Not super big into them, so that makes sense. But this song right here has one of my favorite guitar intros of all time. It is crazy. Even after the intro, the song itself is a really, really nice southern rock tune if that's your jam. But this song makes the list purely for that guitar in the intro alone. It is so smooth. It's great. Number 487 is Peace of Mind by Boston. This was released in 1976, which honestly seems a little old for how this song sounds, and really that entire album. Feels like it should be a little newer than that. Anyways, regardless, I think that speaks to how awesome Boston is. This is the only song from Boston. Last time I did this, I think there were multiple songs from Boston. More Than a Feeling probably made the list last time if I had to guess. But this time it's just Peace of Mind. I just don't listen to him as much as I used to. This is another band who I listened to him a lot when I was younger. It was one of the first vinyls I ever got. I believe I got it for Christmas the year that I got my first record player, so obviously this album hits close to home for me. And this song is awesome. The vocals, again, I'm gonna go back to vocals for this one. He is going insane when he is singing this song. He is hitting some crazy high pitches, and the instrumentals, the heavy production, it just really backs it up. It's a great, great track. Number 486 is Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, released in 1975, so the year before the Boston track was released, and is the only song from Springsteen to make the list. Now, I am not normally a fan of Bruce Springsteen, to be totally honest, but this song gets me. The production on this track, the horns and everything going on in the background that's just matching his energy, his crazy, almost hopeful energy as he sings this song, makes it really hard not to like. So There's no other Springsteen on this list. Hard for me not to include this track though. Number 485 is We Are Young by Fun. It was released in 2011, so this is really from that era where I really started paying attention to what was on the radio. And it is one of 2 songs on the list by Fun. You couldn't get away from this song during that era, and I was really okay with it. I loved this track. I really started loving this band for a bit, even though I was still pretty young. It's just super nostalgic for me, and that is absolutely the reason why it's on this list. Super nostalgic. All right, number 484 is My Love, Mine, All Mine by Mitski. It was released in 2023. It is the only song on here from Mitski. If I'm being totally honest, I'm not a super big fan of her. I just never have really gotten into many of her songs. Of course, the popular ones I've listened to, I enjoy enough. Aside from this album though, the album that this one is on, This Land is Inhospitable and So Are We. Aside from it, just haven't really vibed much with Mitski, but I do love this album a lot. I thought it was fantastic. It was one of my favorite albums of the year in 23, and it is great. And this song really kind of serves as like the emotional center point of the album, and it is popular, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, right? Every now and then there are songs that are popular for the right reasons, and I do think this is one of those songs. It is great. It is great. Number 483 is Cigarette Daydreams by Cage the Elephant. It was released in 2013, and it is one of 2 songs on this list by Cage the Elephant. I am also not a big Cage the Elephant fan, but there are a couple songs here that I do enjoy from them, and this is one of them. This is a great song to drive around in, especially if it's raining. It's great. It's really vibey, and I have here in my notes, it's from an era where everyone was named blank the blank, and I wonder why that is. There's Cage the Elephant, there's Portugal the Man. That's 2 examples. I'm sure there are more. Maybe y'all can help me remember some. Anyway, great song. Love this song. On to the next, number 482. It is Lovely Day by Bill Withers, released in 1977. It is the only song from Bill Withers. This is not normally a track I would enjoy. And by that I mean there's a certain brand of song out there where it really, really, really wants you to feel good. You know what I mean? Think like Jack Johnson. No hate to Jack Johnson, by the way. He makes great music. It's done really well. It's just not my cup of tea, right? And it's that brand of like really, really, really want you to feel good song that I normally don't really vibe with. I would put this under that category, this track, but for some reason, I just can't help but love this song. The vocals are great, the instrumentals are great, the production's great, but it really does just make me feel good. It makes me want to have a great day, and maybe there's something to that. Number 481 is Summer by Calvin Harris, released in 2014, so another song from that era where I was really paying attention to the radio. This is the only Calvin Harris track to make this list. Now, when I did my go-around with my top 500 the first time, this song made it that time as well, and people hated on me for this one. I don't really know why, but people absolutely hated that I included this song. But dadgummit, this is a great song. This is one of my favorite songs, and you know what? It has a great Fortnite emote too, so it's great. I love it. I still listen to it. Number 480, Accessory by Breakup Shoes. It was released in 2019. It is the only song from Breakup Shoes on this list. Now, this is one that I'll tell you, I don't really care much for it anymore. I loved it in that 2019, 2020 COVID era time, and now I just can't really listen to it much anymore. I don't know totally why that is. I think it's a little underproduced, if that makes sense. Like, there's not as much going on in that track as there needs to be. But regardless, it makes this list because, man, I loved this song. I loved this song. Number 479 is Roommates by Malcolm Todd, released in 2023. It is one of 2 songs on the list by Malcolm Todd. And before we talk about this song specifically, let me just say, I need Malcolm Todd to lock in, because I just listened to his new album and I did not vibe with it whatsoever, nor did I vibe with his album from last year. So I need this man to lock in, start making good music like this again, because this track and this album really is fantastic. The production goes so crazy on this track and this album. I need this man to lock in and start doing this again, because there is something so special about this song, about that album. Bring old Malcolm back. Bring the old Malcolm Todd back. All right, home stretch here. We got 3 more to talk about. Number 478. It is Love Missile F111 by Sieg Sputnik. I do not know if I pronounced that right. Maybe I didn't. Who knows? But this was released in 1986. It is the only song from the band to make this list. And this is one of those like new wave synth pop tracks that goes way crazier than it probably needed to. And it really is such like a timepiece. You can really tell it's a little dated. However, it is really fun. And if I'm being totally honest, this song is in my life because of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is in the beginning of the movie, and it's great. It's got such a great energy, and it's really, really intense at times, but it really does have a great energy that just kind of, you know, it gets you vibing with it. I also found out that Prince, the artist, who is on this list as well, Prince was asked to oversee the production of this song, but he said it was too violent for his taste, and that feels right, because this song is definitely a little violent, not in traditional sense, but like sonically violent. So anyway, I love this song. No apologies here. Number 477, our second to last song for today, is Send Me On My Way by Rusted Root, released in 1994. Only song by Rusted Root on here, another band I don't know too much about, but I do know this song. You probably do too, even if you don't realize it. It is a really nice track. It's got really nice vocals, especially in the chorus when those harmonies come in, and it really does feel like a song that would be playing in a movie or on a road trip. I think that's because it is in a lot of movies and played on a lot of road trips. So it's a great tune. And our last track for today, number 476, it is Holland 1945 by Neutral Milk Hotel, released in 1998. And the only song from Neutral Milk Hotel to make this list. I know people love this band. I see it all the time, especially when you're talking about indie artists and whatnot. I just haven't really gotten all that into them. I see people glaze them a lot. I don't know if they're that great. Anyway, doesn't matter. This song's great though. It's got a really good energy. It's really fast paced, but in a really fun way, in a really interesting way. And if you really are keyed in on production, there's a lot going on that's really, really fun. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the first part of this list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously like and subscribe. I'll be making many more of these until we get to the big number 1. So let me know in the comments what you thought. Let me know in the comments what you want to see from me in the future. And also worth noting that if you're interested in a playlist of these songs as we go through this series, I'm going to have one. I'll definitely have one on Spotify. I'm working on an Apple Music one. That will all be linked below. So stay tuned and come back next time for part 2.